Should be good.
Oh, here we go.
Welcome everyone to another one of our topics in the SSP webinar series. On behalf of Wendy and myself and the team here at Shanahan Swapfield Partners, I'd like to welcome you back to our hot topics for our business taxpayers. As you probably already know, our topic this month is subsidised training and green opportunities for employees. Wendy's going to cover off on a number of topics. Free online training, certificate 3s, free apprenticeships for under 25s, job trainer fund, skills boost, back to work payments, youth boost payments, boosting apprenticeship wage subsidies. And then lastly, I'll cover off on the job maker hiring credits. Look, if you do have any questions as we proceed through, please type them up on the Q&A, and at the end, we're hoping that this will go for around about 40 minutes or so, 30 to 40 minutes, so that'll give us a bit of time to go through some of those questions with you. We will try to endeavour our best to get through those questions. There's a lot of detail in this, so it does make it difficult when there's some really particular circumstances that you have, but we will try our best. What we don't know, we will eventually get back to you guys with some answers as well. We can email it out to you. Welcome, Wendy. It's been a little while since we've had our last topic, back for the new year, now early March. But I think this topic has been one of great interest to a lot of business people, especially around the training and what grants are available.
Yeah. Thanks, Mark. It certainly is of great interest at the moment. And to be honest, when I started researching this topic, I am absolutely blown away by how much is available at the moment. And if you can't quite fit somebody into one box, I'm pretty sure that there's something else available for them. So it's a great opportunity at the moment to upskill your workforce, and there is certainly an awful lot available. So the first one we're going to look at is free online training for workers impacted by COVID-19. So a lot of people may have already accessed this, but if you haven't and you work in these fields, there is some information out there and some free training available. And it's for Queenslanders whose employment has been impacted by COVID-19 or need additional COVID-19 safe training. And there's a range of free online courses that you can access. This includes COVID safe training for the hospitality, beauty, nail, tanning, tattoo sectors. CQU is also offering free infection control skill set training for a range of industries. These also include transport and logistics as well as retail. So there is absolutely a wealth of information out there. I have popped down some links, and I will get the girls out the front to send out all of our slides tomorrow, so that if there's anything that interests you, there's some links there that you can go check it out. So the next one the government's announced, and this is a Queensland Government initiative, is that there's Certificate 3 guarantee, which provides a government subsidy to allow eligible Queenslanders to obtain their post-school Certificate 3 qualification. Now, to be eligible to participate in this one, you need to be a Queensland resident. You need to be aged 15 years or over and no longer at school. You have to be an Australian or New Zealand citizen and not hold or be enrolled in a Certificate 3 level or higher qualification. So that includes, so you can't be enrolled at uni and think that you're going to do a certificate while you wait for uni to kick off. So the maximum funding is given to priority skills. The certificates available on this list are vast and includes anything from arts, finance, information technology, community services, construction. It's absolutely a massive long list that would cover just about most industries. The next one that's available is some free apprenticeships for under 25s. So the Queensland Government will cover the cost of training with a registered training provider when you use a high priority apprenticeship or traineeship. To be eligible, you must be under 25 and the training must commence between the 1st of January 2021 and the 30th of September 2022. And there's 139 priority apprenticeship and traineeship qualifications offered. That's not 139 in total, that's in 139 different sort of fields for the program. And they're from a really vast and wide-ranging industries, including agriculture and horticulture, building and construction, hospitality, engineering, resources and mining. The list for this one's really quite long as well. So for most people, I would be surprised if your apprenticeship or traineeship didn't fit into one of these. So the Job Trainer Fund. This is both an Australian and Queensland government initiative which invests $200 million to deliver additional training places in short courses, certificates and diploma qualifications. Fee-free training is available for a range of short courses and certificates with low fee training. Higher qualifications are available for no more than $400. So for employer, short courses and lower level qualifications up to Cert 3 will be funded by the Queensland Government, with eligible students required to pay no fee at all. And there's a link to the website because there's a lot more information that you can find on that one, on that website. So Skills Boost. So this gives more Queenslanders the chance to study in an industry where there will be jobs. This program provides training subsidy for people who want to update their skills to go further in their current job or pursue a different career. Unlike a lot of them, the previous ones which have been capped to age 25, this one is actually open to all ages, and the courses available depend on the area you live in. So the Skills Boost options in CQ are listed up there. So there's child support, child education, digital media, beauty services, community services, and CQU are actually running this program for Central Queensland. So if you'd like any more information on that one, please contact CQU. Okay, so the employer support payments or back to work payments have been around for quite a while now. Some of you may have already utilised them, but the government has tweaked this a little bit post-COVID. So there's employer support payments of $10,000 available for a job seeker aged 25 years or over and previously unemployed between 4 and 53 weeks. The payments are made directly to the eligible employer in 3 parts. And there's also, the second part of this program is there's $15,000 available for a job seeker aged 25 years or over who is previously unemployed for 52 weeks or more. And again, these payments are made directly to the eligible employer in 3 parts. From the 15th of July this year, each eligible employer may only claim a maximum of 4 back to work applications. So once you've got your 4, you can't actually apply anymore. Applications must be made through the Q Grants website. You can't actually outsource this for a second party to do this for you. You need to do this one yourself, and you have to do this through the Q Grants website. And it has to be done after the employee completes 4 weeks of continuous paid employment. And within 8 weeks after that 4 weeks, you have to do that application. So there's a short time period to do this application. So many people miss out on this grant just because they're not aware it's available, and the time's gone by the time they register or would realise it's available. This employer support payment also works in with the Youth Boost payment. So this is for job seekers in the 15 to 24 year age group and who are previously unemployed for a minimum of 4 weeks. The payments again are made directly to the employer in 3 parts. There is a limit of 4 claims per eligible employer from the 15th of July. And again, these applications must be made through Q Grants after the employee completes 4 weeks of continuous paid employment and within 8 weeks of the employee completing the first 4 weeks. So there is, again, that short time frame. There's only 4. And for those wondering who eligible employers are, really they're any business employers. Government bodies or not-for-profits can't actually access this one. So the Boosting Apprenticeships Commencements Wage Subsidies first started off during COVID, and the government's actually continued this. So this subsidy is to support employers employing new apprentices and trainees. So this actually covers some of the wage component of these apprentices and trainees, and what we've been talking about previously covered the cost of their tuition. So this, to be eligible for one of these, you need to engage an Australian apprentice or trainee between the 5th of October 2020 and the 30th of September this year. Apprentices or trainees must be undertaking a Certificate 2 or higher qualification, and the training contract must be formally approved by a relevant state authority. Subsidy is available to employers of any size, industry or location. So during COVID, they had some limits on this that, you had to be a maximum of 20 employees. They've actually opened that right up, and it's to employers of any size. And if you are receiving JobKeeper or any other training subsidy, then you're not eligible for this subsidy. So the amount of wage subsidy that you'll receive is 50% of the new apprentice or trainee's gross wage paid between the 5th of October and the 30th of September, up to a maximum of $7,000 per quarter. And the first claim can be made from the 1st of January 2021, and the final claims need to be lodged by the 31st of December 2021. And these are lodged through your recognised training provider. So whoever you have signed your apprenticeship or trainee up with, they're the ones who will lodge this on your behalf. So I'm now going to hand over to Mark, who's going to run you through the JobMaker hiring credit scheme.
Thanks, Wendy. So, yeah, the JobMaker hiring credit scheme is a federal government initiative. I must admit, I've only had one client actually have made application for this one. So my actual physical experience has been minimal. And when I first did it, when it was first come out, I must admit, I thought it was a great initiative, but when you start to look at the conditions that you got to meet, it probably wasn't what it was all presented, I think, in the press when they were first talking about it anyway. But so, hey, look, the JobMaker scheme is an incentive for businesses to employ additional job seekers aged between 16 and 35. So that's one of the important steps. Remember that it's between 16 and 35, and it's additional job seekers. Eligible employers can access the JobMaker hiring credits for each eligible additional employee they hire between the dates are the 7th of October 2020 to the 6th of October 2021. So we still have a number of months, 6 or 7 months to go yet for the JobMaker hiring credit scheme. To be eligible employer, you must meet all the conditions, not just some of them, but all of them. So just your typical ones, operating business in Australia, hold an ABN, be registered for pay-as-you-go withholding. I think that would be the norm case. And just got to make sure that you've not claimed JobKeeper in the fortnight that they've started JobMaker. So that was one thing that we had to be careful of. So just remember that make sure that you're not claiming JobKeeper, which obviously is pretty well on the way out now, in the fortnight that they're claiming JobMaker. You've got to be up to date with your income tax and GST returns. Fancy that coming from the tax office. Satisfying the payroll increase and the headcount increase. So it's all about a payroll and headcount increase is what they're trying to achieve here. And then satisfy the reporting requirements. To satisfy the employee headcount increase conditions, you need to increase your headcount at the end of each JobKeeper period from the baseline headcount. The baseline headcount is your headcount at the 30th of September 2020. If you didn't have any employees, your headcount is 0. So just remember that your baseline headcount, because when you go and fill the online application through, it does ask you what your baseline headcount is. So that specific date is the 30th September 2020. And as I said, hey, look, if you don't have any, your baseline headcount is 0. How's JobMaker paid? It is paid every 3 months in arrears to the employers. If it can be claimed from the 1st of February 2021 for the first JobMaker period being the 7th of October 2020 through to the 6th of January 2021. What are the payment rates? So it's $200 per week for each eligible person between the ages of 16 and 29. So remember, right back at the start, this is all for job seekers for 16 to 35. So it's $200 for the younger ones, I suppose you'd say 16 to 29, and then $100 for any eligible employees between the ages of 30 and 34. So 200 and the 100. Which employees are eligible? An employee of an entity during the JobMaker period. Once again, hey, look, age 16 to 35 when they started employment. And just remember that they have to have started employment on or after the 7th of October 2020 and before the 6th of October 2021. They have to have worked or have been paid an average of at least 20 hours per week. So that was the other one that some of them didn't satisfy. So just remember that it must be an average of at least 20 hours per week. Have completed the JobMaker hiring credit employee notice for the employer. So there's a form there. Have not already provided JobMaker hiring credit notice to another employer. Stop them claiming it, stop it happening in two employers. Receive one of these payments at least 28 consecutive days in the 84 days prior to starting employment. So you just got to make sure that that they have never received, they've received job seeker payment, parenting payment, or youth allowance. So it's probably not. It's not as easy as it sounds getting the JobMaker hiring credit. So just remember the job seeker payment, parenting payment, and the youth allowance. Ineligible employees, business participants. Another word for that, I suppose, is owners. It's discounting those guys, and close associates, including relatives. So I think that's just to stop them putting people's kids on in their business as employees. How do you register and report for JobMaker? The registration and reporting is done through the ATO's business portal. Basically, very much same section as you did for JobKeeper. You also need to report JobMaker hiring through STP. So that's how they recognise it, is through STP. And this needs to be done 3 days before the end of the claim period. So there's a bit of work in that one. But yeah, just remember, there's probably a couple of criteria. Remember that they have to have job seeker payment, parenting payment, youth allowance. That's one of the issues. 20 hours was another sticky point. And the age of that person has to be between the ages of 16 and 35. I think they're probably some of the 3 criteria for that one that you need to be eligible for.
The other thing that's caught a few people up with that is you can't have one person resign and then put another person on. You actually have to increase your head count. Yes. So that's one thing that I've seen a couple of people caught up with that one, thinking that one person's left, they've got a new person, they might be eligible. Yeah, it's got to actually be an increase of your head count, so a totally new position.
Yeah, they're really looking for that increase in workforce numbers. Very good. So we've come to question time. We seem to have flown through fairly well. As you can see, there's a lot of different eligible criterias or grants opportunities there. It's just sort of gauging whether you have a situation that may fit.
So we do actually have one question so far, and I encourage you, if you do have any questions, now's the time, send them through. If Mark and I can't answer them, we will get back to you with an answer, or point you in the right direction of somebody who knows where the answer will be. So I do have a question here. Are our cadets considered trainees? They're studying some construction management and work on a fixed casual basis. It will depend on whether they are registered with a recognised training organisation as to whether they're considered trainees. And so we'd probably need to check that, Sean, and see if they're registered with a registered training organisation. If they are, they're definitely considered trainees. So, and the other thing is they may be, and depending on what certificate sort of level they are, they may be able to get their course funding paid for, because there's definitely a lot of building construction courses that are subsidised on the list that I've looked at over the last couple of days. Okay, so the next question I have is, I have an employer over 50 and wants to upskill him. So would the skills boost? So the skills boost is one of the ones that are open to all ages. So that's definitely one that you'll need to look at. It depends on what area you're in. So Central Queensland has different certificates and stuff available compared to the Gold Coast, compared to regional, compared to Southeast Queensland. So it depends on what areas you're wanting to, what area you're in as to what skills available. Electrical. Electrical's not available in Central Queensland, but it may be available in Gold Coast area, just depends on where you are. The other one that may also be worth having a look at is a job trainer fund, because they will actually, there's not an age limit on that one, and they'll actually pay for up to certificate, they'll pay for up to certificate 3 to a certain extent, so they'll subsidise up to certificate 3. So the job trainer fund could also be worth a look. The next question is a sporting club incorporated classed as a business? And it would depend on what you are looking
to apply for.
If you're looking at the employer support payments, I would have to double check that. And Mark, if you tell an entertaining joke, I'll quickly have a look at that.
Well, I was just going to say, Wendy, I think the job maker hiring credit, you probably could in that situation, because it's really just to do with employment and increasing that headcount number. So I don't think that's specific as in, separating between a non-profit and a business in that case.
So for the back to work stuff, an eligible employer, nope, I'm looking at employees. I'll have to keep looking, sorry.
That's all right. While Wendy's just looking that up, I suppose just one thing I just wanted to let everyone know is a lot of these that we've just gone through, some of them are Queensland government and some of them are federally government related too. So you'll be taken to different websites depending on where the funding's coming from. Generally, a lot of it has in the past probably come from state government, but federal government, especially since COVID's been around, has definitely come in and made a lot of those contributions and grants available and opportunities available anyway.
Yeah, so I do have the answer for that for the employer support program. So for the Youth Boost and the Back to Work program, all employers are eligible except for government entities, so local, state and Australian governments. And employers must be compliant with workplace health and safety, industrial relations and tax legislation. So if you're really behind on your tax lodgements, you may count yourself out. And they must demonstrate a genuine commitment to ongoing employment of the employee. So what they don't want to see is this churn of every 6 months a new employee claiming this, because that's when you will get looked at.
Yeah. Can I just adding to that one, Wendy? I think the biggest downfall for the back to work one is definitely, there's a line in there that says the application must be received within 8 weeks of the employee commencing 4 weeks continuous employment. I think that's been the big downfall of people not being eligible to getting that back to work. So this one's state government. It's the employer support payment. This is the back to work we're talking about. It's the 10,000 or the 15,000, depending on the age of the person. But just remember that you must apply within 8 weeks of their 4 weeks continuous employment. So they're very strict on that one.
So just moving on to another question. So has the old back to work grant of 20K gone altogether? So the back to work grant of 20K has gone unless you're doing the Youth Boost, which is for 15 to 24.
Yep.
But if they're over that age, it's now either 10,000 or 15,000. Okay, the next question we have, and this is another really good question, is are the 4 back to work applications a combination of employer support payment and Youth Boost payments? And I am just going to double check the answer on this one. So again, another joke, Mark, really handy.
Can I just, rather than my poor joke, so just talking about the skills boost, I know it has been very popular. It's been of a lot of interest. So yeah, please get a chance, have a look at Google the skills boost, because I think you'll find that there's a lot of certificates available, and especially now that it's open, or this one's actually open to all ages. That one has been of a lot of interest to a lot of people. There are a lot of certificates that are available. So I just feel that if you have a look at the list that's on there, I'm sure you can find one that could possibly apply for some of your staff. It's a great opportunity to do some upskilling.
And just with an answer for that one, the maximum of 4 applications is any combination. So you can't have 4 employer support and 4 Youth Boost, but you could have 3 Youth Boost and 1 employer support, or any combination. So it's 4 across those 2 areas. So another question is who you apply for the Job Trainer Fund through. And the Job Trainer Fund is the Department of Employment, Small Businesses and Training. So there will be a link on the PowerPoint that we send out. So you'll be able to click on that and it will tell you how to apply for that and where you go to seek some more information if we haven't given you enough.
Yeah, I think that one's a Queensland government. I think it's Queensland government, but supported by the Australian government in this situation.
Is there any more questions? You guys have given us a wide variety of questions today.
As I said, hey, look, I'd like to help you out as much as we possibly can. For us, it's still very new for us as well. But if you've got any further questions, we'll give it a minute or two.
While we're waiting, I just want to do a plug on our next webinar, which will be next month. So our next webinar, we're going to look at the instant asset write-off. As you may have heard in the budget this year, they made the depreciation limit for unlimited for a lot of people going forward. There is a lot of questions around that, and it's not as cut and dry as it's not as cut and dry as the media has made out. So we are going to run everybody through the instant asset write-off next month, and we'll also be talking about some tax planning strategies as well.
Yeah, we hope to enlighten you with a few different ideas as far as some tax planning goes, and hopefully help you guys minimise some of that tax for this year. But yes, Wendy, one of those topics has definitely been instant write-off. It's probably been the most topical one. Other than some training grants, I think it's probably been the most topical issue that's been around. There's a lot of myths out there too about it. So hopefully we can set you straight on it.
Yeah. There's been a lot of advertising by the Harvey Normans, the Toyotas and all the rest of it about what you can and can't claim. But if you want the good oil, listen in next month.
Looks like that might be it. Hey, thank you very much for your time. We hope you get something out of it. As we said, we will get the notes sent out to you because there are a few links in there as well. Yeah, as I said, hope you get something out of it, and we hope to see you next time.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks,